37 verse 125 says it clearly that Allah and Baal, both of them, they are creators, but Allah is better creator. So Muhammad, the Muslim, they try to present to us that he believe in one God. Well, obviously he don't believe in one God, because how many creators we have? Either if you believe in one God, then you have to believe that there is one creators. If you say he is the best of the creators, that's mean there is many creators, and then that's mean there is many gods. But now we have a competition. We have a better creator, we have less quality creation. It's like, you know, saying I like cars from Germany, but there's cars made in China. You know what I mean? So now we have two makers. One is German, is better than the Chinese, but that will not change the fact that both of them, they make cars. You know what I mean?
Nice analogy. I like that. I like that. Before we move on, though, I think this is a good time to bring up the satanic verses. I think that fits into the whole Mecca and Muhammad, you know, chatting to Allah and coming up with something that benefits himself. So can you just talk a little bit about the satanic verses, please?
You see, I am against using it as a word, as a title, satanic verses, because I believe all Muhammad verses are satanic verses. However, this is the one he admitted that it is from Satan. You know what I mean? So yeah. This is the one he admit that Satan he cast into his mouth, but all of it is from Satan. But if you go in chapter 22 verse number 52, it's very even the way Muhammad he speak, he have a, you know, he have a lack of intelligence. It says وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ مِنْ رَسُولٍ وَلَا نَبِيٍّ إِلَّا إِذَا تَمَنَّى أَلْقَى الشَّيْطَانُ فِي أُمْنِيَّتِهِ. We never sent a messenger before thee, but he had the same problem. When he talk, Shaitan, he put in his mouth the words, and Allah will delete it. Okay, name for me, Muslims, the prophet who Shaitan put in his mouth words, and then Allah he deleted. And in the same time, that will be a contradiction for the Quran, because the Quran say clearly that Shaitan have no authority over the one who they are the good followers. Of Allah, they are protected. If you go to chapter 15 verse number 42, it says inna ibadiya laysa laka alayhim bisultan. My servants, you have no authority over them except the one who follow you from the deceived one, the bad one, the filthy one. So if Muhammad not from the deceived one and not from the filthy one, and the Quran confirm in chapter 15:42 that only this kind of people Shaitan have authority over them. So how Shaitan was able to throw in the mouth of Muhammad satanic verses? Additional to that, the Muslim they say to us that Quran is unique and nobody can make Quran. Can you make Quran? Nobody can make Quran. But here we go, Shaitan, he make Quran, Muhammad he accept the Quran, he recite the Quran, he bow down to the idols, and Muhammad is the last one to know. So if Muhammad received Quran of the devil, and yet he could not recognize that this is not from the devil, so how you can claim and say his Quran is made only by Allah, when the Quran confirm that Shaitan make Quran too? One more thing, you know, as long the verse the one you are talking about is called satanic verses 22:52, saying that Allah will delete whatever Shaitan put in the mouth of Muhammad. How we know that this verse itself is not from Shaitan? You know what I mean? Because it's just to make me relax, because people they notice Muhammad is a scam. He is in the morning he say he worship only Allah, and afternoon he is with the pagans, he is bowing to their idols, and he is saying that Allah wal Uzza wa Manat, the three daughters of Allah, their intercession is a must, and we pray to them and he bow down to them. So people they notice Muhammad is fake, you know, he is not what he's saying. So now how we know that this verse itself is not made by Shaitan, as long the Quran admit that Shaitan made verses and give it to Muhammad?
Yeah, you make a good point. You make a good point. Now, a counter argument that a lot of Muslims would say to people like myself is that, you know, let's say I pick up a verse from the Quran and I start, you know, criticizing it. It'd be like, you can't do that. You can't speak Arabic. It's not the true Quran. But you yourself, being a native Arabic speaker, they can't throw that argument at you, because you can speak and not just recite the Quran in Arabic, you can actually understand it as well, which is a big difference to the majority of Muslims. Now, would you say there's a difference between interpretation between someone who can speak Arabic and whatever translate the Quran compared to a Muslim's interpretation of the Quran?
You know, first of all, do you know what Muslim they say to me? And to you, they say to you, don't speak Arabic. For me, they don't say to me, your English is funny.
There you go.
You know, so always they will find.
They've always got an answer.
Yeah, you know, like just last week we have a Pakistani guy. He called me in my live podcast, and he was shocked because he thought I don't speak Arabic. So he was going to say to me, listen to me and listen to the Quran in Arabic. Listen to Arabic. I said, what's wrong with you? I am an Arab. What do you mean listen to it in Arabic? It's a stupid book. So yeah, so what the Muslims do, first of all, they bring somebody, he have a nice voice and he sing the Quran, and then they try to have an impact on you, or listening to a music like you know, if you bring a singer, it doesn't matter what he is singing, is going to sound beautiful because he have a beautiful voice, you know. So
yes,
if you give someone you like his voice and he is very well known, if you give him the menu of a restaurant and he sing it, trust me, it's going to sound good. You know, it's a menu, it's nothing there. And the Quran is nothing but a menu, but a bad restaurant. You cannot even understand what the Quran is trying to say, because the Quran is suffering from a flight of thought. You know, as an example, many people they say that you know, the Quran have you know, like Meccan surahs and Medina surahs, right? Yep. And many people believe that Meccan surahs are the one who is peaceful, and Medina surahs are the violent one. This is not really too much accurate. You know, if you have a deep knowledge in Islam, you will find that this is not true, because you will find that what is exist, example in chapter of At-Tawbah, which is supposedly most of Muslims believe that this is happened in Medina. You will find that verses there, they are from the time of Mecca, which means the Quran is like a salad. It's not really, we cannot say these verses or those chapters are from this and this chapter, etc. But Muhammad is make it clear. If you go to chapter 9 verse number 46, it says, and if they wanted to go out to prepare for war, you know, they will, but even if they will, but Allah, he don't want them to go because they will lose, you know. So stay with the one who stay. So the Quran tell us why Muhammad is not going for war, because he knew if he go for war right now, he will lose. He is not qualified to win a war. So people wrongly they think that Muhammad was peaceful when he was in Mecca and he was harmful when he was in Medina. Muhammad is Muhammad. But the whole difference is, I am weak right now and I cannot do it, so I wait until I can do it. You know, and the Quran confirm, like as an example, it says that you cry not for peace as long you are the uppermost, and this can be found in chapter 47 verse number 35. فَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَدْعُوا إِلَى السَّلْمِ وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. Cry not for peace when you are the uppermost. So the whole idea is, when I am the uppermost, I will not go for peace. When I am not the uppermost, no problem, I go for peace, but this is temporary. And that is the mentality of Muhammad. Now the interpretation of the Quran is a different story, because Muslims themselves, they cannot accept each other interpretation. This is why the Muslims, when they finish an article or trying to make a book about Islam or to give interpretation for the Quran, they say at the end, Allah knows best. Allah knows best as a statement is just like disclaimer, you know what I mean? So you don't kill me.
Yeah.
Like because he will know right away. There are some people, they might even seeking killing him for what he said. So even the scholar, in order to protect himself by disclaimer insurance, he says Allah knows best. So they say to him, how you say that? This doesn't mean that, etc. They say to him, do you see? I told you Allah knows best. You know, and then you will find that the Muslims agree about not to agree about what the verse mean, and this is the only agreement they have. And the reason for that, the Quran was not really in Arabic. The Quran never was in Arabic. The Quran was an Aramaic book, and what we have today is the converted version of the Aramaic book. And this is why you will see the Muslims, they are so confused about understanding tons of verses in the Quran, because simply this is not an Arabic book. And then when they try to explain it, then they start guessing, what does that mean? You know?
Okay, I've got a quick question for you then. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Uthman, a third rightly guided caliph, he was the one who got rid of all the other versions of the Quran. Or he wanted to have one text to learn Islam from, essentially, and everything else he just wanted to burn and get rid of. So there was just one book to go to. So he didn't want the controversy that was associated with the different Christian Bibles and the different chapters there. How did he go about compiling that then? And what was there a lot lost? Like, what did Uthman actually do?
You see, what we have a story about Uthman, I believe, is not too much true, because we don't have a book of Uthman. Do Muslims have the book of Uthman? They don't.
Yeah.
So how we can be sure that Uthman, he made this book we have, or the Muslim they print in Saudi Arabia? And there's many versions of the Quran exist right now. As an example, if you go to Morocco, the Quran is different from the Morocco from the Saudi one. When the Saudi get the oil, they start printing a version they accept to be the version of Uthman book, but nobody have the Uthman book. So speaking too much about Uthman, there's no proof of it that Uthman book is exist. Secondly, Uthman, according to Muslims, he burned the Quran, as you said, because obviously those other Qurans are different, and that will raise many questions why they are different. And who is Uthman? Who gave the authority to Uthman even to do so? You know, the Muslim, they get angry from a person who burned the Quran when the first one who burned the Quran was their caliph.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Which doesn't make sense. But the Quran says that the one who will collect the Quran is Allah. You know, it's not Uthman, it's not even Muhammad. This is why in the beginning, like there's a statement that says, we fought them for collecting it, for writing it, and we fought them for preserving it, which means it was not really Muhammad did not say that to write the Quran, did not say that. In chapter 75 verse number 17, it says, inna alayna jam'uhu wa qur'anahu, it is on us to collect the Quran and to recite the Quran. So Muslims, for them, it's not their duty to collect the Quran. Same time, what is the Quran of Muhammad? Why we need even the Quran of Uthman? You know, because remember, Uthman, he's just like he's a companion of Muhammad, and there is no way that Muhammad he have a book and then the Muslims don't have it. I mean, okay, you say to us that the Christians corrupted their book. You could not preserve the book of your prophet for a few years after his death. You know what I mean? There's tons of places speaking about Muhammad. He have Quran. As an example, in the Hadith, Aisha, she said that when Muhammad he passed away or died from poison, a goat or a sheep came inside the house and grabbed the Quran from under the bed of Muhammad or the pillow of Muhammad, and she ate the Quran. And this can be found in Sunan Ibn Majah. So the goat who ate the Quran, how the goat can eat the Quran if there's no Quran?
Hold on here. It just right. Muhammad's death. First of all, I'm not too familiar with that. Of course, as you just said, he got poisoned. So I'd love to talk about that a little bit. But a goat ate the only copy of the Quran after his death? That sounds crazy.
This is what Aisha, she said. You know, it says the verse of stoning. I'm reading for you the Islamic translation, not my translation. For me, I read Arabic. I don't care for the translation, but I will use their own just to show the Muslims that this is how it is. The verse says it clearly. Let us put it in the screen for those who are watching so they can see with us. The verse of stoning and the breastfeeding for adult 10 times was revealed, and the paper was with me. Actually, it doesn't say paper. This is called sahifa. Sahifa is like sheets. Was under my pillow. When the messenger of Allah died, we were preoccupied with his death, and a tame sheep came and ate it. That's it. You know. So now we have, based on this story, a goat who ate the Quran. If not all of it, Aisha here is mentioning 2 chapters or 2 stories. The verse is about breastfeeding for adult, and maybe you do not know about this. Muhammad, he ordered them from the Quran that Muslim women, she can give her breast to feed an adult who is a stranger. And the breastfeeding, by the way, here is not about drinking milk, because women, they don't have milk always. You know, I mean, all of us, we knew women, they have milk only when they give birth. You know, a woman is not a cow and she have a faucet. You open her nipples and she have milk. So a woman, she is not really even too much young. I mean, she is she don't have babies, and this is why even they adopted a child or a person. When Muhammad she came to Muhammad to complain about her husband is jealous from this man because he look at her. Muhammad, he says, give him your breast, let him suckle it. So this is not about milk, have nothing to do with milk, and this is a breastfeeding for adult, which means it's just sucking the nipples of women. And we do not know how in the world, if a man having dirty look at a woman in a sexual way, if a woman she gave her nipples to him, that will stop him, that will make him go crazy more. But this is the logic of Muhammad, and obviously he's making fun of them. You know, whatever Muhammad he says, they take it, they accept it, they practice it. You know, there's no let us say there's no logic in the logic.
That's a great expression. Yeah. Now, you were saying there before that one of the chapters that the GOAT 8 was talking about men breastfeeding. There's a lot of allusion towards sexual activity in the Islamic scriptures, isn't there?
Well, you know, all of Islam is based on money and sex. So, like, if you go to heaven, what you will get? Muhammad described your house as a brick
of gold. Loads of virgins.
Yeah,
houses as well. I didn't know this.
Yeah, but everything starting from the second you enter. First of all, Allah will make you white because no black people are allowed to enter heaven. Everybody have to be white. Oh yeah, everyone have to be white. You know, if in the Quran you see Muhammad, he was so clear, and the Muslim they try to fool people about those verses. So Muhammad he said that in the day of judgment, chapter 3 verse 106, يَوْمُ تَبْيَضُّ وُجُوهُ وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهُ, the day the faces will turn white and the faces will turn black. The Muslim they try to make it as the day they will be faces will be happy and faces will be sad. This doesn't say that. If you go to Ibn Kathir, you go to the scholars, you go to the interpretation, especially the oldest one, you see that it says it clearly that there's a beast, his name is a Jassasa. If we go to chapter of An-Naml, verse number 82, it says that this beast, a Jassasa, is going to come from the ground, and she will hit the believer and the disbeliever by the stick of Moses and the ring of Solomon, and the believer will turn totally white and the disbeliever will turn totally black. So it's literally about being black and being white. And Allah, and not only that, when people before they enter paradise, people they sit together and then right away they will not notice who is a Muslim, who is not. How? Because he's white. So when you see a black person, that means he is a bad person, he is a disbeliever. And when you see a white person, that means he's a good Muslim, he's a Muslim. So Islam is extremely racist religion. As an example, Muhammad he says, وَقْتُلُوا كُلَّ أَسْوَدٍ بَهِيمٍ, kill any black animal, pure black animal. And he said, when they asked him about why he ordered to kill black dogs as an example, he said the black dog is the devil. Now I challenge any Muslim to tell me why the black dog is the devil. Now about sex, we did not cover the point of sex. So racism about being white, this is why Muhammad he promised the Muslim men very white women to the point you can see their bones, and he promised them that you will have gold and silver in the heaven. Even your house will be one brick of gold, one brick of silver, and the land will be from rubies, and your house will be made from pearls. Then the virgins, and those virgins simply they are sexually made for the purpose of one purpose, which is sex. But I find the story is very stupid because additional that it is a fiction, and but imagine all women, imagine somebody he came to your door now in earth and he delivered to you, delivery, shipping coming from Hong Kong, and he opened the container and you find 70 women or 80,000 women, but all of them they have one name and they have the same eyes and they have the same look. So what the point?
That's a good point, isn't it?
I mean, all of them they look the same. They all of them they have a name Hur. They don't have names. Their name is Hur. All of them they have the same face, the same eyes. All of them they have black eyes and etc. All of them they have the same shape. All of them in one age. All of them even the breast size is the same, exactly copy paste. So what the point of having sex with all those women is all of them are the same women. Imagine you have one wife and God he copied for you 10 of her. I mean, what the point?
Yeah.
You know,
that makes no sense. I never knew that.
It's a madness. You know, this Islam is a religion of stupidity, and the more you are stupid, the more you believe in it. You know?
Yeah, indeed. So back to sex, Islam. I suppose, forget sex, masturbation. There's a lot of rules and guidelines as to how to masturbate within Islam, isn't there?
Well, you know, the Muslims, they have a lot of weird stuff. As an example, you can masturbate with watermelon. You can
try it later.
Yeah, I don't want. I do not need to give reference. Anyone is listening, he can just go and type right now, Islam, you know, sex with watermelon, or sex with daw, or sex with the statues, or sex with the even Muslim women, they can do masturbation. Like they can use a cut off penis, or they can make use a crimbage, which is a piece of leather round as a sex toy. So obviously the Muslims, they have sex toys long before anyone have them, before Playboy. Even actually Muhammad, you know, he mentioned that in the heaven of Allah there is a market, and this market have no buying nor selling except pictures. And if a believer man, he like the image, he enter it and he will have sex with it. So even Playboy magazine was created before Muhammad, long before the Playboy magazine in America. No?
Wow. Now, why watermelons? Is there some kind of law forbidding you from using your hands? Is that frowned upon?
Well, you know, you see, the Muslim, they have an idea that there is no shame in religion. This is why if you watch Islamic TV, it's kind of like a comedy. I remember once a Muslim woman, she called the TV, and she said, obviously she is, excuse my language, obviously she is a whore, and she is making fun of those two guys, the scholars, the sheikhs in the TV, because she's, you know, she make them sweat. She's talking in a very horny way, and then she starts saying, when I take off my clothes, the fish, they start shaking. And then the sheikh, he drank the water like if he's thirsty for 10 years. You know, he is really sweating, and obviously she made him excited. And then he said to her, sister, obviously those fish, they have a genie and they are looking at your beautiful pure body, so I advise you not to take off your clothes in the front of the fish tank. So she said, but this is the only room I have, what I can do. Then the sheikh, he said, well, in this case you better cover it by a blanket. So sexuality in Islam is about everything, because imagine even fish is going to masturbate when she see a Muslimah. So the fish is shaking in the fish tank because she is taking off her clothes. Muslims believe even that their women, they cheat on them by having sex with the genie, but they don't consider it as a cheating because they knew it is the genie is powerful and he can do that. So once a guy, he called the TV station, he said once he opened the door and he found his wife doing something, you know. And so he's asking the sheikh what he should do. He said, obviously your wife, she is having an affair with the genie. The best way to get rid of him is to read Quran. Read Quran.